of schedulings, as I said to you that we are having two important methods, which is going to be called as forward scheduling, and the second one which is going to be called as a backward scheduling. So forward scheduling means we know about the specified job and the specified order, and accordingly that we are trying to complete by the task. And here not only by based on the jobs, but also that the people will give that prioritizing work, and this work is going to be very, very important. We need to do this work as a primary thing, and then next only we can do any other kind of work. So once you have these kind of commitments, and then definitely you will be following forward scheduling method, which is going to be completely on requirement, demand, and the time base we are able to complete by forward scheduling. Second one, which is going to be called as a backward scheduling. So in the point of the backward scheduling, what will happen? We are committed with a time factor, time bound. April 25th, afternoon 12 p.m. Definitely we are going to delivering by our products. Now once you have the commitment, and based on the commitment, these companies, what they will do, simultaneously they are committed for manufacturing of the products. Now based on time bound, the backward scheduling will be worked out. We are having our regular duties, but as well as based on the time bound also, they will be performing by their duties. And the next important one, which is going to be deal and talk on that aggregate production plan. This is going to be one of the most popular production planning method. Now this aggregate production planning, which is going to be the overall within a 1 year, what is my plan for doing of production, doing of inventory, doing of personal level any sort of activities, which is going to be everything recorded and will be having under a single head, which is going to be called as a aggregate planning. Generally in the name itself, they mention very clearly aggregate. This is like a 1 year or less than 1 year, 1.5 year time span. Usually the companies will have this kind of planning. Now within 1 year, like a short term, what we supposed to do and what are all our goals, and accordingly that this aggregate planning will be worked out. Now when it comes to the aggregate planning process, again we are segregating onto the two important heads, which is going to be called as internal planning process. Second one is external planning process. Whereas in the internal planning process, which is going to be happen within the four walls of the factory. Within the four walls of factory, what factors are highly influencing, and based on that we are going to be select. These are the important production planning factors for effective utilization or effective implementation of these internal aspects. Whereas external factors, which is going to be highly influencing on like a external environmental factors, this is not so by directly, and sometimes by the indirectly also will be showing much more impact on your businesses. Now internal production planning, again we are going to be deal and talk on that capacity. So what is your capacity? Now your plant, whether it is running on 80% capacity, 90% capacity, or 120% of capacity, that you need to be determined by your plant, which is going to be depending on the availability of material, labor, machinery, time bound. You need to be decide what is the capacity of your plant. Second factor, which is going to be focusing on the workforce. Now what kind of employees we are having, whether they are skilled or semi-skilled or unskilled, whether they are required any sort of additional training for their improvement. Now the employees, whether they are permanent or by the contract, so you need to be justify the employee facilities what you are providing for them, and accordingly that you can able to find out their production output also. A third one is like a inventory. As we know that inventory is one of the predominant factor. So whenever you are manufacturing the product, and every time the inventory will be taking that leading role, because what quality of material we are having and what quality of material we are using, and what is the impact of that materials also will be considered and will be monitoring by each and every aspects. And the last one is production. So what is this production, and how this production which is going to be played that an important role for us? Because why we are establish our farm? For the sake of manufacturing, for the sake of delivering of products, for the sake of customer satisfaction. So we are having a multiple reasons for manufacturing of your products. But whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, the production capacity must be known by each and every employee at the organization. Now, we must be understanding another important component is like the production planning, which is also influenced by external environmental factors. External capacity. For example, you are running with 80% capacity and 90% capacity, and you are feeling proudly that we are one of the successful businessman. But when you compare with your competitors, then you will be understanding like your plant capacity is very, very low. And other companies are using sophisticated and highly qualitative technology, whereas 0% errors products they are manufacturing. So in those companies also, when they compared with international level or some other countries, and they will be understanding that what is the capacity of their plant. Next, we can talk about the competition. After 1991, we are working under LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Any corner of the world, you can manufacture your products, and anywhere in the world, you can sell your products. So you cannot able to say like only the Karnataka companies are competition to me, or the Delhi companies. Now the entire world, everywhere you can able to launch your product. If the product is really worthy and it is having the essential qualities and which can be satisfy all the needs of the people, and then you will become a market leader. If not, you will be out from the market. So you must be understanding the competition is increasing in the present scenario by day. Next, raw material supply. Now, who is going to provide raw material for us? By the suppliers. Now, what suppliers will do? They will continuously provide material to companies, and they will start to getting by the income from us. Now, the companies also will be looking to that these suppliers are really they are providing qualitative material to us. So we must be feel that we must be have these kind of companies for the future also. We don't want to lose these kind of suppliers. Sometime what will happen? The rivals or some other competitors may offering by the higher prices, so that the suppliers are they may stop material to provide to you, and they may go for other companies also. So in this situation, we must be think if the supplier is not available, the entire production is going to be stopped. Now what we supposed to do? So who is next best supplier for us, and how many months is or how many years, how long he will able to provide material to us? And we need to be think all these factors, and relatively we need to provide these things. Next, fourth one, which is going to be deal and talk on that demand. Demand for what? Demand on the manufacturing of products. So as we know that continuously we are manufacturing the product and the products are available in the entire market. Now, what is the demand of your products in the market? If there is a huge demand for your products, which is going to be indicating like your price is reasonable, the product is qualitative and worthy, which is going to be satisfying the needs of the people, so that they are emerging and they are showing very much interest about to come and buy your company products. So that this is a one kind of what we say like symptom signals, which is going to give it to the companies. Now, the next one, which is going to be stock on that aggregate production plan. How this plan will be worked out. Now, here we have four important stages of steps for developing aggregate production plan. Collect related data. Now, while you are being a production manager or any other department manager, you must be know that collecting the data about your company. So in your company, what is your strength, weakness, opportunities and threats, and based on that you need to be create a data sheet or a production plan. According to the production plan, you need to be understand what is the demand and requirement of the buyers, and relatively we need to prepare a strong aggregate production plan. This will not be influenced by any other factors. Now once you collect detailed information about your department or in your production organization, and accordingly that we are going for formulate the problem. Now this problem, which is going to be stating like to solve all the issues at your production department. Now we are having some sort of mechanical issues, or tools are to be required, or whatever the problems you are having. Now once you are started to collect the information, now whether these information will be known by the concerned department manager or not. If he knows, then we are going for the third point, evaluation about the solution. Now what is the problem? You are talking about mechanical or by the technical issues at your organization. Now once you are having by the technical or by the mechanical issues, and then what we supposed to do, again we need to be think whether I am going to give a solution to you, whether this is the best solution or not. You need to be accept, you need to be adjudicate, yes, this is the right solution to solve all my problem. You are providing the technicians for then and there to repair your machineries, or you are taking that next important step. All the machineries are outdated. We bought these machineries 30 years back. Now we are going to buy new machineries. Now, which is completely good for your organization, you can proceed with that. If not, then again we need to be think which is the best and the right suggestion we are thinking and addressing to the organization. And then fourth point, implementation of the aggregate production plan. Once you collected the data, once you are identifying the problem, once you are come up with the color of opportunities, and you are selected the best one, you are implemented, and you are knowing that action related reaction. Whether reaction you have got it in positive way, then your decision making is good. And whatever furthermore decisions you are going to be take, that will be lead to development of your institution only or your particular department. And the next one is, which is going to be talking on master production schedule. Now, in the master production schedule, we are talking about the whole organization. Earlier, we talked about aggregate production plan. Now, aggregate production plan, which is going to be deal about a specified department, especially by production department, their plans, strategies, their controlling techniques. Those concepts only will be deal about this aggregate plan. When it comes to the next one, master production plan. The master production plan is like a overall concept. The whole organization consolidatedly we are preparing by an aggregate plan, and relatively that we are working. So in the overall plan, we are focusing in a specific way. Now, each and every department, whenever they have their individual planning, and we are consolidated together, and we can say like this is a master plan of the organization for 2022. And relatively, every department will be working on that. Now, we are able to see like the comparison or the level of the flow charts between aggregate plan versus the master schedules. As you can able to see in this picture, like we are segregating into the three parts. The first part, which is going to be called as long range, between 1 to 15 years. Second one is like a intermediate, which is just like a 3 months to 18 months. It is just like a quarter to 1.5 year between. And the next one is short range, which is just like a less than 4 months. Now, by seeing this range, I can able to tell you briefly the long range, which is going to be indicating like in future what you are targeted. Sometime what will happen, it may beyond that you are expecting 15 years, sometime it may beyond, it may take 20 years also to reach to complete by those specified activities. Because in the long range, which is going to be specifically focusing on market environment forecast. Now, what is this market environment? So, India is having one kind of heritage, one kind of culture, one kind of production. Now, whereas in Japan is having one kind of culture and heredity. Now, once you are start to manufacturing your product, you must be know that who is your respondents or consumers, buyers of your product, and relatively you are supposed to launch your products in the market. If in case you are identifying wrong buyers, then ultimately there is no demand for your production, and moreover what will happen, you may think like something is wrong in my production or in my buyers. But the point is identification of a right buyer or consumer was missing here. So being in the long range, if you want to stand in the market, you must be know that to whom you are, for the sake of to whom you are producing your product, and what is their consumption rate, how long they will be use these products, durability. You must be considered about all these elements before you are manufacturing. For that, what you need that you need a strong forecasting mechanism. You must be observing that clearly. Whereas in the another side, resources base and technology. Nowadays, everybody is using an advanced technology for manufacturing of their products, because buyers are very clear in the present market. They will see they want to buy the best product, which is lower price. So when the point of the best price with the lower prices, there is a problem of technology. If we have a good technology, if we have a skilled labor, then only you will be reach this target. So being a long range, if you want to settle in the market, you must be know that what kind of technology we are using, and we need to be compare all the time with our rival companies. Example, you can say like China. China all the time they will compare with US company. US country. So why they are comparing China companies versus US companies? Because US is having a predominant role in the all over the world. It is just like a big brother. Now, what China was doing, like they would like to capture the powers. Even the country is very very small by US population is very very low. But even though universally, why this US dollar was very popular? What kind of essentials they are having, and why we are lower than to the US? So all the time the China will be comparing production wise, population wise, turnover wise, profit wise, and the GDP wise. So that these countries, when they want to play the dominancy role in the all over the world, then they will be looking to that one of the important weapon is technology upgradation. So technology is important to them. So if we have a good technology, and then we'll move on to the next one, that is going to be talking on that the capacity. Already we discussed. So once the company is running full-fledged 100% capacity, if you want to run 110 percentage, 120 percentage capacity, if the plant is access, okay, fine. Otherwise, what companies will do? They would like to start another plant. It is just like a plant extension activity. So when huge demand and both the plants will be work, the demand was down, only one plant will be work. Now, depending on the capacity, depending on the turnover, long range forecasting also we need to be prepared. And then next one is like a intermediate range, which is between 3 months to 18 months. Now here we are seeing like a aggregate production plan. Now this aggregate production plan, just like we are preparing between 3 months to 18 months. Now here we need to be measured, we need to be calculate about what is the workforce and what is the time duration of the employees are working, and what kind of inventory we are receiving, and are we giving any kind of subcontracting to the anybody else. So is there any kind of changes in the manufacturing of the capacity? We need to be forecast, we need to be analyzed, and relatively we need to prepare an aggregate plan for 1 year. Now, one department was prepared an aggregate plan. Why not for other departments? Now, other departments also will prepare. All together, we are going to have a strong production schedule, which is going to be called as master production schedule. Now, master production schedule will be a predominant one, and that is going to be a strongest one, where by seeing the master production schedule, we can expect that next year what is the growth of your company. Now, you just have a look on that. In Indian population, the world population wise also we are second largest. But when it comes to the COVID effect, we have taken the precautionary measures and we are safeguarded. But even though as of now the statistics was saying like in the whole world more than 13 crores 10 lakh people approximately they were died. Sorry, they were affected with this COVID positive. Whereas the government was taken that effective measures so that in India we have taken that advanced lead to control of the COVID-19. But unfortunately, the second wave was highly influenced, especially in the state of Maharashtra. Even the Prime Minister also was a little bit afraid, and he was trying to conduct Chief Minister's meeting by tomorrow. What we supposed to do? Because already the government was announced clearly that hereafter no more any kind of lockdowns. So that what is the next alternative for us? What kind of remedial actions we can able to take it? So they are sitting with other states chief ministers and whoever they can able to assist to the chief minister, or they can give the best suggestions to the prime ministers. So in that way, they are conducting a conference, which is going to be explaining you that the precautionary measures, how we are very, very serious. So master production schedule also will be influencing, will be showing that in the whole 1 year, the whole departments, how they are taking initiative for reaching our targets. We need to be mentioned very clearly in intermediate range. And the next one is short range. Short range is just like less than 4 months. Now, in this context of the 4 months, what we can do, what kind of schedule or what kind of planning we can able to take it in more effective way. As we know that material requirements, capacity requirements. So what kind of material we are required and how we can able to buy and what best we can purchase and we can start to use. All those details can be prepared and forward to the production department or the inventory department to take by the furthermore actions also. It is just like a purchasing of the material. How many months worth of material we can able to acquire, we can able to hold it, and all these details will be considered under within 3 months or by the 4 months of the span. Okay guys.